Hey, good morning, folks. This is Tim O here. I'm sitting in the little common on John F. Kennedy Boulevard here in Harvard Square, enjoying a nice Pete's coffee and just chilling out. And it's a nice day out. It's not too hot. It was supposed to be cloudy, and it is, but the sun is shining right here where I am, so I'm happy. And got to the gym this morning, got a little workout in, took a walk down here, figured I'd hang out here for a little while, enjoy the scenery, people watch, enjoy my coffee, and then head off to work. And this morning I was talking to a guy, and he's in that place now where he's feeling pretty lonely. Him and his girlfriend broke up. And that's a tough thing, and I don't just dim that, because I know it's a tough thing when you break up with somebody. But they were going on and off and on and off and on and off. And, that's sometimes even worse, because you never know where you stand. And, and he's feeling pretty lonely. So I thought it was, the least I could do was just kind of listen to him and just give him a call, not wait till he called me. Just kind of, sometimes we just need to talk, but, we don't want to reach out because we feel we're bothering somebody, or, nobody wants to hear us. And, that can be true with some people, but it's not with me. I've been there. I know what it's like to be lonely. I was in a relationship for 6 years, and I thought it was going to go on forever, but it was just a toxic one. And I was toxic too. We both were drinking, we both were drugging, and it was just chaos. So, I gave him a little bit, a couple of suggestions, and the thing about it is, he can sit in this place where he's at, or he can get out. And he can come down like doing this. I'm not doing much. I'm just sitting here enjoying a coffee. But sometimes getting out of your house, getting out of the misery, making some moves. Because if you sit there and you're just feeling sorry for yourself, or just looking back on what could I have done, maybe you could have done something, but maybe you couldn't. Sometimes we don't see that maybe this is for the better, and maybe it was meant to be. And it's hard when you first go through it, but sometimes when you give it some time, you start to realize that maybe this really wasn't the one. Or maybe I was just in a place where I was allowing certain behaviors, whether it was her or with him, to carry on. And then we're settling for less. And I'm in my 60s now, and I can see, he was talking about, where he's been in his life and all this stuff. And listen, I was in addiction and caught up in the rat race for a long time. But I don't look back on it and just say, I did nothing, or, nothing came of this, because that's just not the truth. I had children. I was married. I had a nice place to live. I had good jobs. I had good friends. But when you're caught up in that stuff, slowly you start to lose those things, and you don't even really give a damn. You just kind of let it go. Or people can't keep up with that sort of lifestyle, because they're going another way and they go another way. But I don't look back on it like it was all wasted time. Yeah, I spent a lot of, wasted time being wasted. But a lot of things happened. And I think a lot of it has made me the person who I am today. And I had to suggest that to him. It's like, listen, bud, we can look back and just say, oh, we've done nothing. But that's not so. He's done a lot with his life. And if he's talking to me now, he's alive. So he did something right in his life. you know, and I'm just very grateful that I can be there for a friend, because I would hope somebody would be there for me when I'm in that sort of predicament or way. And you know, it's just sometimes we gotta use some action. And you know, he's got a lot of time in his hands, and he's got to look at that. You know, a lot of time can be idle time. So, you know, even if you don't want to work right now, if working probably isn't the thing for you right now, then, you know, there's volunteer jobs. There's places you can go in Cambridge and stuff and sign up and do some arts and crafts, or do something, or start going to some programs. There's a lot of stuff you can do. You just have to look. You have to check things out. Pick up, you know, papers or something that advertise this stuff and take a shot. We got to do the first step. And you know, with time he's going to get over this, and who knows, they may get back together again. I don't know. You know, this goes on, but I know I did that, and I have to see it now after going through it, that I was just settling for less. I was allowing stuff to go on because my self-esteem was down in the dumps, and I didn't think I could do any better. So, you know, I wish for him the best, and he knows that he's got a friend in me that will listen, that will give some solid suggestions. And whether he takes them or not, that's not for me to say. All I can do is try to reach out, because I've been there, and try to say, you know, what I had to do. Because just wallowing in self-pity it isn't gonna do anything except bring you more down and get you more sick. But things are starting to, you know, pick up around here in Old Harvard Square. The working day is in full bloom. I'm gonna enjoy this coffee, and I wish you all a good day, and thank you for listening. And please, you know, if you're going through some stuff today, talk about it. And you know, if the people that are around you are all downers and all they want to hear is just downed out stuff, then maybe you got to start thinking about picking a new crop of people to be around. People that can build you up, people that are talking about the solution, not tearing everything down and just talking about the problem all the time, because that ain't gonna do nothing. We can talk, you know, there's a lot of problems in this world, but there's a lot of solutions to those problems. And you know, I'm not the president, so those problems I can't handle, but I can handle the day-to-day things that go on in my life, and I can choose whether to do something or just sit back and do nothing. So I wish you all a good day. Thank you for listening, and take care. Be well.